All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of the 2022 NMFMA Local Food Connects annual conference. We're excited that you were all able to join us today, and we hope that you have a lot of takeaways with great information. I'm Michael Green, and I'm a program coordinator for Good Food NM at the New Mexico Farmers Marketing Association. But today I'm going to be acting as the tech guy. So me, along with Sophia Rose, are going to be the tech assistants for the duration of the conference. Before we get started with all the fun stuff, I'm going to cover a few housekeeping items that you guys, you can all, just pay attention to so today goes by smoothly. So we will be using the same Zoom link throughout the entire conference, so be sure to keep it handy for both today and tomorrow. You will also receive a daily email with the important links, important documents, and the agenda for each day. So keep track of this so you know what fun offerings we have each day. You have all entered the room as active participants, which means you can control your video and your microphone. We ask that you stay on mute throughout the duration of the program until the Q&A or until you are called on by one of the speakers or one of the tech assistants. And then at that point, you can unmute yourself. We just want to make sure that everybody, we can hear the speakers just fine. So in the Zoom window, you guys have been doing Zoom for 2 years, so you probably already know this, but we would encourage you to use the chat to introduce yourselves, to ask questions, to make comments. Whenever you're sending a chat, just make sure that you're sending it to everybody, including the panelists and the participants. During the Q&A, we would prefer that you raise your hand, so you can do the raise your hand button underneath the reactions icon at the bottom. And once you click on reactions, you then click on raise hand, and the moderator or the tech assistants will call on people who have raised their hands. This just makes it easier for us to keep track of who has questions and so forth. And then finally, you have a leave room button at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, which you will use to leave the session at the lunch break and at the end of the day. If you have any tech questions, I will go ahead and drop my contact information in the chat so you can give me a call or a text, and that way we can kind of, troubleshoot anything that might occur. Let's see, so now for the fun stuff. For New Mexico Farmers Marketing Association members in good standings, don't forget to vote for the new board members. You should have received an email with a link in order to vote, so be sure to get in there and vote before tomorrow. We'd encourage you to do it as soon as possible, really, but voting is open until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So again, if you are a member in good standing, you will have already received a link for that. And now I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the sessions for today, just to let you know what you're looking forward to. So today from 9 to 11, we're going to hear from New Mexico Department of Health on the WIC annual training, important changes for 2022. From 11 to 12, we'll have a break. After lunch from 12 to 1, join New Mexico's legendary activist and spiritual leader, Tilly Yazzie, for a presentation on indigenous farming. It'll be super interesting. And then from 1:30, from 1 to 1:30, we'll have Kendall Chavez, the Food and Hunger Coordinator at the Office of the Governor, provide a legislative update. And then from 1:30 to 3, we're going to be doing the fun urban and rural farmers market open forum. So be sure to join these breakout rooms for lively discussions about things that are happening in urban and rural farmers markets. So that kind of covers up all the housekeeping items. I'm going to toss it over to Denise Miller, who's going to introduce our guests. Thank you all so much for joining, and we hope you enjoy the programming for today.
Thank you, Michael. It's really good to see everybody again today. Not so good seeing myself on the screen. I got to do something so I don't have to really look at myself here. But yeah, welcome to day 3. And, I know that this WIC and Senior Farmers Market training is really important to everybody here. let's see, if there's anybody who comes in late, or well, I guess if you're late, you're not hearing me say this, but this recording or this session, all of the sessions at the conference will be recorded. And so if you feel like you even need to listen to something again, or maybe you had to step away from your screen for a little while, the sessions will be recorded, so you can go back and listen to things at any time. And yeah, this is just a really important session. It always is. WIC and the senior programs were some of our first food access programs. WIC started right in 1994. The senior program we got going around 2008. And these are like bedrock food access programs for our communities. And as we've alluded to a number of times so far in the conference, and as you've heard, I think directly from the Department of Health recently, they've been sending out lots of communication. This year is going to be a really groundbreaking year. So we're going to hear all about the mechanics of how these new changes are going to unroll. And so I'm really pleased that we actually have 3 people from the Department of Health with us today. I'm just going to introduce 2 of them. Sarah Flores-Sievers, who is the director of the WIC, of the overall WIC and farmers markets programs, as well as Veronica Griego, who is the WIC and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program Manager. And then there's also a 3rd person that they'll introduce shortly. But I'm going to let them tell you about this groundbreaking work. New Mexico is leading the nation right now in this new transformational way of providing food access to our communities. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over. I believe Veronica, oh, no, maybe it's Sarah who's going to go first. So I turn it over to you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Denise, and good morning, everyone. I wish we could see each other hopefully next year. So yes, just as a recap, the first part of our agenda today is going to be our federal requirement as we do our annual training with you all. And then Veronica is going to go into sharing what our 2021 season looked like with our numbers and redemptions. And then, as Denise said, we're really excited to share the changes for our 2022 season. As she mentioned, New Mexico is leading the nation in this new technology. And as I've shared in the last 3 years, we knew this change was coming because the checks, the vouchers were going to be obsolete. And that's exactly what happened. All of the banks are now out of the business. And so we were kind of with our crystal ball seeing this happen. And so we needed to be prepared. And so we're going to go into in-depth training and what that's going to look like. And we're going to have numerous trainings throughout the year and a lot of follow-up, a lot of hand-holding. And then Ron is going to share with you actually what the pilot looked like. So we're really, really excited. If it wasn't for this opportunity and this new technology, I just want to say there wouldn't be a season. And unfortunately, a lot of states are in the situation where they're not going to be able to provide a WIC or farmers market season. And that's the last thing that we wanted for anybody, because as Denise said, we know how vital this is to our community. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Veronica, and we've left ample time at the end for your Q&A that we can take as much time as we need, and then also have one-on-one meetings as well throughout this year to help prepare you all. All right, thank you so much. Veronica?
Good morning, everybody. Let me pull up my screen really quick. Hold on, let me get back to my other screen. Can you see the screen there, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's just not in presentation mode. We do see your sidebar if that matters. Okay, there you go. Perfect.
It's starting now. It takes a while. Okay, so as they mentioned, we are here today for the Farmers Market Nutrition Program training. I am Veronica Griego, and I know I've reached out to many of you throughout the season last year, and I am the WIC and Senior Farmers Market Program Manager. And today we're going to do a little bit of an overview, a training overview. What is our WIC and Senior Farmers Market Program? what are the benefits that we issue, and what is an eligible food list. And then we'll go into what is an authorized farmers market, roadside stand, mobile market, farmer, and how do you become authorized. Then next, we're going to go into our what is new for 2022. Why are there new changes? How are we going to implement these changes? And like Sarah mentioned, we will go into question and answers. So for New Mexico, what is the purpose of our program? Well, it is to increase the food security and reduce hunger by providing children and low-income New Mexico residents access to food and healthful diet and nutrition education in a way that supports our local New Mexico agriculture. So how does WIC, the WIC and Senior Farmers Market, do this? Well, we do have 3 programs. They are seasonal grants that provide participants with access to fresh, nutritious, unprocessed fruits and vegetables from local farmer markets. And it's designed to increase the awareness and use of our community markets. So we do have, here's a list of what we have. We have the WIC FMMP. You will see who is eligible. We have women, children, and infants. Then we have the SFMP, which is our Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program. That one is for eligible senior participants who are within the age of 60 plus for non-Native American and age 55 plus Native American. They do have to meet the 185% federal poverty guidelines. I noticed a lot of you yesterday during the conference, you were asking what are the guidelines. So I did put in a slide, so I'll kind of run through that just so you can see it. And then we have the other program, which is our FMNEP program. That is a state-funded program, and that is also eligible for our seniors, age 60 plus and age 55 plus. But on this one, they do have to meet the 130% federal poverty guideline. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the guidelines really quick. This is for the SFMP. The income guidelines are all on the website through USDA. You can find them on the internet. This is just a quick one that we have and that we use to be able to review and approve household size and income. So the next one is the FMNEP that is based off of 130%. And also it is based off of household and income. And this one is actually effective. Both of them are effective up until June 30th of 2022. A new one will come out in July. So now I'm going to go over the benefits and redemptions. For our WIC participants, we issue them $30 on a first come, first served basis to eligible participants in the household. And for our seniors, we issue up to $50 on a first come, first served basis for eligible participants. With our WIC FMMP redemptions, in 2021, we had a redemption rate of 88,890. In 2020, we had 89,757. And in 2019, we had 124,926. As you can see, it's gone down. We are really looking at this, that it's decreased because of COVID, of course. And then some other issues that I have seen is a lot of checks weren't being cashed or they were not being redeemed. People just weren't using them. So those are some of the reasons that I saw. Same thing for the senior SFMP and FMNEP redemptions. In 2021, there was $264,440 that were redeemed by our seniors. And in 2020, 356,140. And 2019, 320,000. And our seniors are our largest redemption, and we really, really love that they do go in and they enjoy the fresh fruits and vegetables from our farmers. Now, I'm going to go on to what is an authorized farmers market, roadside stand, mobile market, and a farmer. Basically, what the authorized means is that you are approved through our program, the WIC and Senior Farmers Market Program, to participate in accepting our benefits from our WIC and seniors. I know there's so many other programs, but just remember this is the WIC in senior. And for a farmer or farmer's market, roadside stand, mobile market to apply, you can go to our website, which is www.nmwic.org. And you can actually click on the farmer's market tab that we have. And I'm actually trying to get there right now. It's right here in the farmer's market link. You'll click on the drop down, and what you'll do is you'll see 4 sections. You're going to want to choose the FMMP market and vendor section. In that section, you're going to see these documents. It's going to say FMMP, SFMP documents. You're going to click on the little arrow that's on that side. In this section, you're going to see your agreements that can be completed. So you have them in English and Spanish, the farmer agreement. Right now, these are 2021. I haven't been able to update our system as of yet, but our 2022 applications will be going up there. We have our farmers market agreement. We also will have the farmers market selection criteria, the mobile farmer market agreements, roadside stand. You will also be seeing your WIC and farmers market sign, which I will be showing you in a little bit, as far as because it's going to be changing. So the green ones are going to be tossed out. And then we will also upload a copy of this conference in here as well. So once you have your application either printed, or if you are very tech savvy and you can do it online, you can complete it. It'll be in a PDF or in a Word document. Once you're done with it, you can just sign it, email it, or you can mail the application. We do have a new email address this year, which is doh.fmmp@state.nm.us. And our mailing address, of course, is here. Melanie will be putting this information into the chat box as well. Now I'm going to be going over some rights and responsibilities for the farmers market, farmers, roadside stands, and mobile market. All this information is on your selected criteria and your agreements, but this is the main items I do want to go over. And so what shall you do? You shall provide us information. As a state agency, we may require information from you. So we do ask, if we do ask you for information, that you do give it to us so we can report it to FNS. We do ask that all farmers post their farmers market sign. That is a must. We really want to push that all farmers use this sign. The reasoning is not only is it for you to gain income as well, but also for our participants to see what farmers are out there that participate in this program. And this is a copy of what the farmers market sign looks like. And let me get that for you. It's going to pop up. And this is what the new sign will look like. So as soon as I can get all the farmers signed up on our new electronic solution program, you will get a copy of this. It will be a hard copy. It will be non-destructible, so you will be able to post it up and it will not get destroyed in the rain. So this is what it will look like. It's nice and bright. Sarah liked it. So let me just switch my screen.
Veronica, while you're doing that, I just want to let everybody know that our website is just currently having a reboot. So we're hoping in the next day or two that it will be up and running. So if anyone's checking right now, that is why. But that is the correct address that Melanie put into the chat. So thank you.
And next, number 3, we do it. You shall assure that our WIC and senior benefits are redeemed only for the eligible foods that are on our eligible food list. This is a copy of the food list. I've kind of updated it. The New Mexico locally grown foods listed here are eligible for purchase with FMMP and SFMP benefits. The eligible food list must be fresh, unprepared fruits, vegetables, and herbs. And as always, honey is only available for our seniors, not for our WIC participants. So here is a list here of our fruits. We have English and Spanish, same thing for our herbs and our vegetables. Now, the one thing that if you do have a vegetable, fruit, or herb that you have a question on and you want to find out if it is eligible, by all means, you can reach out to us. We will get with F&S and we will double check to see if it is eligible for purchase. Last year, we added mushrooms. We did get a question from, I believe it was the Santa Fe Farmers Market. We did ask and they allowed us to put it on there. So mushrooms are on there. We do ask that you do provide all eligible foods at the current price or less than the current price charged to other customers. You shall accept WIC and senior benefits within our program dates, which start July 1st to November 30th. Accept training on our FMMP, SFMP procedures, which you're going through today. We do ask that you train any of your employees or any other farmers that are not on this training about this information, because they are responsible for these procedures as well. You shall agree to be monitored for compliance with FMNP requirements, which includes both overt and covert monitoring. You shall be accountable for actions of your farmers or employees in the provisions of foods and related activities. You shall pay the state agency for any benefits that are transacted in violation of this agreement. You shall offer FMMP recipients the same courtesies as other customers and comply with the non-discrimination provision of our USDA regulations. And here's a copy of the non-discrimination statement. Like I said, all of this is also on your agreements. You shall notify the state agency if any farmer or farmers market and or roadside stand ceases operation prior to the end of their authorization period. So the authorization period is for 3 years. We do not extend it past the 3 years. The last applications that were completed were in 2020. And so which means you will be up at the end of this season. So I do ask that all markets and farmers complete a new application to continue participating in our to accept our benefits. So like I said, you could go to our website. If you want a copy of the application, we can send it to you. Just contact us and we can get it to you. But I would like to start accepting those now in July if possible, so we can at least get those in. Next is you shall not collect any sales tax on FMMP benefit purchases. And you shall not seek restitution from FMMP recipients for benefits not paid by the state agency. If you shall have any issues of getting payment, whether you don't receive it as far as direct deposit or check due to this new electronic solution, I do ask that you do contact me. I will do an audit and we will get with our vendor to see what's going on. The next is additional information. I'm really not going to go over this part. However, it is on your agreement. If you do want a copy of it, please reach out to us and we will get you a copy. Now we're going to go on to our nice information of what is new for 2022. So what we want to really share with everybody is there will no longer be any checks issued through the New Mexico WIC and Senior Farmers Market program. However, there are some markets that are part of the 5 Sandoval Indian Pueblo WIC program. They will continue to issue their FSIP WIC Farmers Market checks. And as far as that, the farmer and markets within the listed below will still continue to accept these checks. So you're going to see the color is going to be different this year. This is just a copy of a 2020 check. And just make sure you keep an eye out that it says 5 Sandoval Indian Pueblo. Those are the only checks you will be accepting this year. I think there may be a few more markets that are part of the FSIP, but this was what was on their brochure, and this is what I put in here. If you need to contact them, their contact information is here on the left-hand side. And just keep a reminder that these checks will be out there. Farmers, you will need to continue, they will need to continue to put their codes, and markets, you will need to go ahead and put your market stamp here and your number. And please make sure your WIC client signs those checks prior to you accepting. So the New Mexico WIC and Senior Farmers Market Program is looking at the implementation of the electronic solution. So what does this mean for you? So as far as our farmer markets, you will not need to stamp the checks any longer, but only for those markets that are on the FSIP program. The New Mexico WIC is looking at providing the farmer market managers access to view their WIC approved farmer sales. So they'll be able to see the sales of their farmers. And then they will also be able to update their market agreements online, complete them online, and review and approve their farmers applications online as well. And then next, for our farmers, the e-solution is going to be free to all participating farmers. The e-solution will have access to process CVV, WIC, SNAP, CSFP, and debit card transactions within the next few years. I will let Sarah go over this in further detail.
Thanks, Veronica. Yes, as Veronica mentioned, we first want to just have during our pilot program in the Santa Fe Farmers Market, it was a smooth transaction. We had great feedback, making some tweaks, but it's more important right now before we start adding that we do this right. So we're hoping within the following year for our 2024 season, as Veronica mentioned, we will also be adding the SNAP double up, CSFP, and then also for any other card transactions as well. So we still need to figure out what that's going to look like. But the main goal is all of that's going to be free to our farmers. And it's nice because the technology will be able to pull from particular grants or from those credit card transactions. And again, instant payment then within that next day or the following week. So no trips to the bank, no signing the checks, nothing getting lost. And so we're really excited about that. And so Veronica has a video demo that she can share with you in a minute, and then also some feedback from a lot of the farmers that did partake in our pilot program. So please jot down your questions because I know we're really looking forward to a discussion at the end of this presentation. Veronica?
So as part of this e-solution, we will provide the farmers access to all their transaction reports on an accessible website. You'll be able to see everything that was purchased, well, the dollar amount that was purchased. You will not have to worry about lost checks, cashing your checks, dealing with the banks not accepting them, no signatures, a stamp not being put on there correctly, upside down, sideways, and the bank not accepting them. You will be able to receive your funding from your sales with 2 to 3 days via ACH, direct deposit, and by check within at least 1 week from the processing. You will now be able to run all your transactions with the tap of your finger, either utilizing your cell phone, which is used by your data, or a tablet that has the capability to download an application. So it can either be utilized by data, or it can also be used by Wi-Fi. Now you will be able to sell our participants from a penny to the balance in their account. There's no longer the $5 at just one farmer. They can spread out their money to many different farmers. And so we really like this feature that we're going to be able to offer our participants. So that way they can share the wealth with everybody, purchase what they want from other farmers, and enjoy. So we're going to go over now, why are there new changes? Well, like Sarah mentioned earlier, is that the private companies that generated and processed our farmer market checks informed the entire nation that they were getting out of the business since it was no longer feasible for them to continue. And our contracts would end at the end of the 2021 farmers market season, which they have. So this really prompted New Mexico and the entire farmers market program to find alternative solutions. So Sarah was on the hunt and she found an alternative solution because otherwise we would be facing the possibility of not having this farmers market program for our WIC seniors. And this wasn't an option for us at all. So those farmers and participants who participate in our new e-solution will receive in-person training. We're not just going to kind of just let you learn it. We are going to, like Sarah said, we're going to do a hand holding. We're going to be training everybody on how the system will work. How are we going to get you set up? How do we get the mobile app onto your phone? How do we get it onto a tablet? We will walk you through everything. On October 2nd, 2021, through November 15th of 2021, we did a proof of concept at the Santa Fe Farmers Market. This was at the peak of their season, and we brought in many seniors and WIC participants to help us test this program. Our participants had the choice of receiving their benefits on either the following. So they had the option of choosing the mobile app on their cell phone. And the way the mobile app works is they open up the mobile app, a QR code pops up, and then what happens, the farmer opens up his app and he just scans the QR code that is on the mobile phone that pops up. And then from there, the farmer is able to process the transaction. He puts the dollar amount that they purchased, hits submit, and then the participant reviews it on their phone to make sure the dollar amount is correct. And what they did is they hit agree and the transaction went right through. The next was a shopper card. So the shopper card is for those who do not have access to a mobile phone and or if they don't even want the mobile phone. Many of our seniors are the ones that chose the shopper card. And as a matter of fact, 41 seniors, you can see in the chart below, 41 seniors chose the shopper card with the total benefit amount of $1,025. And for our WIC participants, there was 24 WIC families that chose the mobile app. 3 of them chose the shopper card. And the reasoning why they chose the shopper card is because they had a family member, which we call a proxy. And they allowed them to use the card to purchase the benefits for them. And this is what they wanted. So the same thing for our seniors. If they have a proxy, they can allow that proxy to go and purchase the items for them at the farmer's market as well. And I will be showing you now a demo of a phone-to-phone transaction. And this demo is from the vendor we went with for the proof of concept, and he'll walk you through how the transaction works. Then after that one, you're going to see a card-to-phone transaction. And after that, you're going to see an actual live transaction from our WIC one of our WIC participants that joined us at our proof of concept. And I'm going to go ahead and start that video now.
This is a short demonstration of a solely market transaction. In this demonstration, we will show a single purchase for 2 items. The first item will be for fruit.
Can you hear it,
for
sir?
$1.50. And the second item
If you could turn it up, that would be helpful.
at a cost of $1.
Okay, I wonder why.
On the left side of the screen is the solely market shopper application.
Give me a minute,
which
everybody.
is used by participant shoppers
No, we can hear
to
it.
manage their benefits
Okay, good.
and approve purchases with authorized farmers. On the right side of the screen is the solely market register app, which is used by farmers to ring up and accept purchases from participant shoppers. The first step in a transaction is for the shopper and farmer to each click on the checkout icon at the bottom of their screens. The shopper app will create a QR code for the register app to scan. The register app will prompt the farmer to click the Scan QR code button, which will activate the camera for QR code scanning. The farmer then scans the shopper's QR code. After scanning the shopper's QR code, the Register app will show the shopper's current benefit balance. Pressing back will end the transaction, while pressing the green Proceed button will start the actual transaction process. This is a screen from which the farmer will add items to the shopper's cart. Our first item is fruit, so we will begin by selecting the fruit icon. Then we will click the box to enter the total value of the fruit item that we are ringing up. In this case, the cost is $1.50. After entering the price, we press any place outside of the keyboard. Then, to confirm the addition of this item to the cart, we press Add. Next, we want to add the second item, which is the purchase of vegetables at a cost of $1. Pressing the Add button adds this vegetable purchase to the shopper's cart. Pressing Continue will summarize the purchase and request approval from the shopper's application. You can see on the left that the shopper application indicates a total transaction of $2.50 to be deducted from benefits with no cash due upon acceptance. The shopper is able to see the two items that make up the transaction and the respective prices. The shopper now has the option of canceling the transaction or accepting it. Upon acceptance by the shopper, the transaction is validated. And if approved, both shopper and register applications will indicate that the transaction has been confirmed.
Okay, so next I am going to go ahead and do the next one, which is cart to phone. And Melanie is going to actually drop these YouTube links into the chat if she has not done so yet.
This is a short demonstration of a Soli Market transaction using the Soli Market shopper card. In this demonstration, we will show a single purchase for two items. The first item will be for fruit for $1.50, and the second item will be for vegetables at a cost of $1. On the left side of the screen is the Soli Market shopper card, which is used by participant shoppers to purchase fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs from authorized farmers. On the right side of the screen is the Soli Market Register application. This is used by farmers to ring up and accept purchases from participant shoppers. The first step in a transaction is for the farmer to click on the checkout icon at the bottom of their screen. The Register app will prompt the farmer to click the Scan QR code button, which will activate the camera for QR code scanning. The farmer then scans the QR code located on the face of the shopper card. After scanning the shopper's QR code, the Register application will prompt the shopper to enter their PIN number. Upon doing so, the Register application will display the shopper's current benefit balance. Pressing back will end the transaction, while pressing the green Proceed button will start the actual transaction process. This is the screen from which the farmer will add items to the shopper's cart. Our first item is fruit, so we will begin by selecting the fruit icon. Then click the box to enter the total value of the fruit item we are ringing up. In this case, the cost is $1.50. And we press Add. Next, we want to add the second item, which is the purchase of vegetables at a cost of $1. Pressing the Add button adds this vegetable purchase to the shopper's cart. Pressing Continue will prompt the shopper to enter their PIN code for a second time. Upon doing so, the Register application will display a summary of the transaction details. You can see that the Register application indicates a total transaction of $2.50 to be deducted from benefits, with no cash due upon acceptance. The shopper is able to see the two items that made up the transaction and their respective prices. The shopper now has the option of canceling the transaction or accepting it. Upon acceptance, the transaction is submitted for validation. If approved, the register application will indicate that the transaction has been confirmed.
All right. I see a lot of questions coming in, but like I said, we will answer those at the end. I'm going to go ahead now and play the actual live transaction, and let me get that started.
So it's $3.
Okay. All right.
Slick.
So this whole transaction took probably about 45 to 50 seconds to completion, from start to completion. So it's actually a really fast transaction. Now that you've seen those transactions and how it works, I'm going to go ahead and go through how to implement the new changes. What are we going to do to implement this? So the first thing is going to be farmers must have a 2010 or newer cell phone or a tablet device that can download an app from either the App Store or the Google Play Store. So now if a farmer does not have a cell phone or a tablet, does the farmer have a mobile phone that has the ability to download any app? If the phone has internet or email access, more than likely they have app access. Many people don't realize, but phones that were made in 2010 and newer have the app access. Do they have a family member that goes with them to the market? Do they have a tablet that or a phone that can download this app? If so, then they can participate. Now, is your market small enough where you as the market manager can run the sales from a phone or a tablet for those farmers who do not have the mobile phone? So yes, there is that option as well, but you as the market manager would have to download the application, and your farmer would still need to have a profile with us so they can get paid. And we want to make sure that all transactions run under that farmer's sign in. So they'd still have to sign in. And so that's how that process will work. Now, things may change from now until we get everything up and running. But as of right now, this is kind of what we're looking at. So the next is the farmers must complete the attached form to continue accepting the New Mexico WIC and Senior Farmers Market payment. The reason why I put this together is because I want the information. This is the information we're going to utilize to put into our online profile for the farmer. So any farmer who is already authorized through us, they're going to mark returning approved farmer, fill in all the information that is here. If you're a new farmer, if you're a new farmer and you want to participate, they will need to complete this along with the farmer market agreement. So the farmer market agreement still needs to be completed, and this form needs to be completed. I have sent this off in December to all of the market managers. So if your farmer needs a copy of this, please get it to them. I did also send it off to farmers as well. A lot of the emails, some of the emails I got back, but majority of the emails went through. If you did not get one from me, please make sure you check your junk email. I have been advised a lot of my emails are going into people's junk email. So also on this document, I am asking that the farmer chooses a direct deposit or check. So we will give you the option. However, we want to really push the direct deposit because they will get their funds faster. And as far as the ACH document, I know I did not attach it to the email that I sent, but I will be sending that out probably end of March, beginning of April. You'll be getting it before June, so we can get you into our system. And the other thing is, farmers who do not complete the attached form will not have the authorization to accept any of these benefits. So we do have to have this information to put it into the system for you to be able to get the application onto your phone or your tablet. We do encourage all farmers to participate, and as this truly benefits them and the WIC and senior participants. So as far as submitting, I would like the forms submitted by June 1st of 2022. When it is completed, they can save and submit the forms to our email address. If they're unable to email the form, they can actually mail it to me, and the address is down below. You can get this document either on our website. However, like Sarah mentioned, our website was down. But the other thing is, contact us by email. I will send you the document if you did not get it. So you can just contact us by email or by phone number. My contact information will be at the end of this presentation as well. Is there anything else, Sarah, that I may have missed?
I think you covered it. I'm trying to answer some of the questions coming in, but this is really going to open up for a great discussion. But I just want to reiterate, I know you saw the 2 demo videos, and they seemed a little bit long, but as Veronica said, it's anywhere from 30 seconds to like maybe not even a full minute, how fast that transaction takes. And people also in the comments were kind of saying, this might be a little too tech savvy. I think a lot of you, when you have an account, say you're setting up your banking account on your phone or something, it's very similar. You're just doing your name, your info, and this is both going for the client and the farmer. And then you get that uploaded, and then that part's done. You never have to touch that again. So when you have a WIC or a senior participant come to your table, you just open up that app and you scan the card, and then you just enter the amount of your sale and you scan, and it's it. So I just want to make sure you don't have to keep re-entering certain things. It's just a one and done. And then just like the transaction, that's it. So again, we are happy to go over this multiple times, and I can't stress enough that we're going to have staff throughout the state assisting with this. We are happy to go meet with you ahead of time, just like private meetings if need be, but just be patient because there's only so many of us. But it's really important that everybody is comfortable and confident before we roll out. But I just want you to know there will be hands on deck at your markets when the season starts. Just kind of as that help desk table floating, that's what we did at the Santa Fe market, and it worked really well. So we can kind of share our lessons learned to make it an even more smoother transition for you.
Okay, so now we're going to open it up to question and answer. Melanie, I believe you were going to go ahead and read the questions that popped in. And Sarah, I think you mentioned you're already answering some.
Thank you, Sarah and Veronica, for that excellent presentation. If you have any questions, please enter it in the chat or raise your hand and we'll call on you. Let's see. Someone asked the payments to the participant from WIC of $30 to $50, is it per week?
No, it is actually for the season. So we issue starting July 1st, and we do have to stop issuing funds by September 30th. But however, our participants can utilize their funds from July 1st of issuance to November 29th. And so they have that whole time frame to be able to go ahead and utilize their benefits.
Okay. Let's see. Joe has his hand up. Joe or Rhonda?
Yes, I really want to thank you, Veronica. I had about 10 questions. I think you answered 8.5 of them. And that was excellent because you didn't know what my questions were. I was concerned, and maybe other manager people were as well, whether our vendors even received the information from you. And I know for a fact that 2 people, whether they received it or not, didn't know they had it. So I like the opportunity that you will allow us to intervene here and distribute these agreements and that sheet to each of our farmers, because some of our markets don't start this process till May. But I think you're saying we can go ahead and do it now. And we can like be a proxy for you. Is that what you understand? Am I understanding you correctly?
So what a proxy, you're talking about running the program for the farmers who don't have a phone or tablet?
No, I'm sorry, I'm unclear. I want to be sure that our vendors from last year got the information for you. I want to send them the agreement for this year, plus that thing from you, independent, and so I can be sure that they got it and they will return it. So I can be sure of, does that make sense?
Yeah. So yes, you can give them this document. And if you don't have it, I can send it to you. And you can issue it to them. There is actually another page on there that kind of goes through the information. And I can get all that information to you to give to your farmers.
So it's my understanding then, the market itself has to apply again and have an agreement. And then each of the farmers have to have a new agreement as well, whether they had one last year and it was or not, it doesn't matter. And they also have to fill out that the payment form.
Yes, so the form that we just reviewed where it shows ACH or direct deposit and check, that is for now through June.
Okay.
Because I got to get this information in now into our system to be able for them to be a part of the e-solution that we are going to implement July 1st. Now, I was also talking about new agreements because the season, because everybody has signed already an agreement from 2020 through 2022. That is the 3 years. So 2020, 21, and 22, the 3-year agreements are going to be up at the end of this season. So if they could start sending the new ones to us for 2023 through 2025 in July, that would work. Now, if they want to wait, that's perfectly fine. But I do need to get them before next year's season starts.
Thank you, because that was unclear. So we have to write this information up for our new vendors as well when we send out our spring letter. And I want to be sure, and so if y'all could look over the letter that we send, just the part that relates to WIC, I would appreciate that as well. So that we send out the correct information to new people for sure.
Okay.
And Rhonda, we really appreciate you helping us advocate, because we try to, get and just inform everyone, but sometimes we don't have the latest email or the phone number. So we really appreciate you helping spread the word and issuing these applications. We just want this a smooth transaction. And we just want to make sure everybody has enough time so we can answer all of their questions so everyone feels prepared before the season starts. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from hand raised from Linda. Linda.
Yes, we have 3 farmers market stands, in 2 in Albuquerque and 1 here in Socorro. So would I have to apply for each one?
Are you talking about which application?
I guess it'd be our that we're certified to receive them and stuff like that, I guess. And then we'd have 3 different accounts. Is that how we would do it?
So the markets, so the agreements are staying the same the way you guys have always completed those agreements. So you sign the agreement for the 3 years. And so like I mentioned, the 3-year is going to be up at the end of this season. So if your market has a separate market ID, if all 3 of your markets have separate market IDs, then yes, all 3 would need a new market agreement. But if you have just one market ID, then you would just need one agreement.
Okay. The problem, I think, my son runs one on 4th Street, and I'm thinking that maybe we could do his different because maybe this time, you know, the new year starts, maybe this year we can do it, but next year we could do it a little bit separate, because that way I don't have to manage any of his money or anything anymore, which I don't mind, but because that's the way we all do it now. It's all one.
Okay.
And Veronica, correct me if I'm wrong, since you're the expert in this, because we know multiple, there's several farmers that sell at multiple markets, but they will not need, they'll just still need one register, but they can still partake within the 3 or 4 markets that they sell at. So I don't want to make it seem like they'll need 4 of these online registrations. It's still just going to need one. And then on the application, we have it still noted where else they sell.
Okay.
You're correct.
Okay.
You are
All right.
correct.
Thank you.
Okay, there's another question. For my day job, tablets are used to collect data offline when there is no Wi-Fi. Then the data is uploaded to the cloud when Wi-Fi is not available. Is that a potential option with this app?
Sarah, I believe with their proof of concept, they had advised us that the apps would not be able to do the offline, right?
That is correct for this first year. That is something that we're pushing for the following 2024, because we know how that's an issue for our state. For the markets that currently do not have Wi-Fi, we are looking at hotspots, trying to find grants to make sure that is provided. Because the last thing that we want is for anyone to be excluded from this. So I just want you to know we're doing everything in our power that we can to provide Wi-Fi. Denise shared with me earlier that about 50% of the markets currently do have Wi-Fi, maybe a little more. So again, that's part of our research. So we'll be working closely with you. And again, let me just bring it up too, because we actually saw this in our pilot, that some folks forgot their phone. Some folks forgot to charge their phone. And so we were able to assist and help them complete that transaction. So again, WIC staff will be on site. You probably will get sick of us because we're there just to help support. But then also the market manager can fill that role too, as well, should one of those instances occur. So we're just trying to have every safety net in place during this first year. We just want everyone to really increase those sales and enjoy this new process.
Okay. There was another question about a walkthrough on how to download the app. Is there a video or walkthrough on how to download the app?
So as soon as we get the document that I just asked for, which is going to be the sign up to get them into the portal, we will put them into the system. Once they are in the system, then information will be sent to them. We cannot give them, I mean, they can download an app, but they will not have access unless they are in the system. So anybody can download the app, but if you are not in the system entered by us, you won't be able to even open it. So the document where I am mentioning that I do need filled out and sent to me, that is the information I will utilize to put you into the system. And at that point, you will get an email or a phone call from us to walk you through on how to put the app into your tablet or your mobile phone.
Okay. And then we have Joe and Rhonda raising their hand again. You're on mute, Rhonda.
sorry. I think I'm concerned as I was in the previous one. Let's just say this farmer is going to 3 markets and it's a new farmer. So they're going to have to do one agreement with you all and one a payment form, or is it 3 agreements and 3 payments? How do you know which market would they sign up at?
Usually the way it's been going is the farmers are signing up at their main market that they're selling at. And on the agreement, you are going to see, and let me see if I can pop up the agreement really quick on my side, just so I can walk you through it.
Great.
And Veronica, while you're doing that, there was a good question from David. How is the funding being distributed to WIC clients and seniors? So I want to reassure you for the WIC, it's going to be the same way. They will come to either the clinic or to the markets, and we will upload their cards or phones. The great thing with the one thing that we're really looking forward to, especially on the WIC side, because as you know, we really need to help them have better redemption because we don't want to return this money, is that if we happen to see, say, in the Southeast region, WIC participants aren't spending as they need to. So we can do text reminders and things like that to help remind them. Or if we're coming down to the wire, we can actually pull those funds if these families aren't going to spend and redistribute them. So that's one thing that we weren't able to do before. So that's a huge benefit. And with our seniors, they can still go to the commodities program that through our CSFP. We're working more with our senior centers. So that's really good. So we'll have more exposure and more funding for the seniors in other locations. It's really important because we know with transportation issues that we can go to them in other places, especially more in our rural communities. And if you have any ideas of how to best approach and find our seniors, we'd love to hear from you. I mean, we are all in this together.
So it's still trying to open up, Sarah.
And also for the vendors that are signed up, we have them put up a WIC sign that we have. And so everyone knows that they're signed up for that program.
And I also did see a question of, can you tell us what farmers have already signed up for this? Currently for this new e-solution, I only have 7 farmers that have signed up. And the other additional through the Santa Fe Farmers Market. As of right now, we still have your information. However, it just depends because it's a proof of concept to a actual live environment. We may need to get the information again, but we will advise you about that by at least May or June if we need more information or if we need you to fill out the form. Okay, so here is the farmer agreement. It's starting now, so. Can you see the agreement? Okay, so here is the farmer agreement. So the farmer, of course, is going to complete this in its entirety here. Their name, their information, their email, phone number. They're going to put their 4-digit farmer ID code, the market, the main market of where the farmer is going to sell. This is your number here. Now, if the farmer sells at other markets, they can put the market name here. At this point, I can tie them to those markets. However, I have seen where if they sell in Santa Fe and they sell in Taos. So Santa Fe is their main market. Then they sell in Taos, they sell at Albuquerque Rail Yard, they'll put this here, but these other 2 markets will still have them complete the form. I'm fine with that. It's just additional paperwork on my end and the farmer, but I mean, if you feel that you want to complete it, that's fine. Otherwise, the farmer should be getting a copy of this from their main market when I submit it back after I sign it. They should be getting a copy of it so that way they can show the other markets, hey, I'm already signed up. This is my farmer ID number, and that should allow them to sell because they already have them listed here and they are authorized markets. So
do we still use the list of identification codes that we got several years ago to continue to add to it?
Yes, you continue with those numbers. If you need new numbers, contact me. You cannot make up your own numbers. You will have to contact me and I will send you a list of new numbers. Because right now we are already in like the 8,000 numbers. So this is the farmer agreement. This is an agreement that has been out there for years. So this actually shouldn't be a confusing form. The only additional one is going to be for us to enter them into the system. The only reason why I created that one is because not every farmer is going to be able to participate or want to participate. So we have them authorized. You're an authorized farmer. I need you to complete that other document so that way we can go ahead and get you up and going into our new system.
So which is required first, this one or the other one?
The other one right now, unless you have a new farmer. If you have a new farmer, both are going to be needed.
Okay.
Okay, we have a question from Pam. Pam? You're on mute, Pam.
Yeah, I've got a few questions. I'm with the Socorro Farmers Market, and we're just doing a reboot and starting up. So for us, you know, we haven't gone through any of this stuff before. So the first question I have, and I think you've already answered it, basically the people that are receiving the WIC and the seniors, they're getting that for a season, and that person is getting possibly up to $50 for that season. Is that correct?
So the way the WIC works is they get $30 per eligible participant. So you could have a mother who is pregnant. You could have a child who is in the age of between 1 through 5. So at this point, that mom will get $30. The child will get $30. So that's a total of $60 for the season. Our seniors will get up to $50, and that's it at that point.
Okay, great. And then on the app that you guys are talking about, I think someone asked the question, it's going to be difficult to go back and forth, but let's say I sell someone 5 different products. I can just enter the total of those products. Like I could enter the total of the fruits versus the total of the vegetables and not have to itemize each piece of produce, correct?
You are correct.
Okay. Okay. And then I think you answered this question, the farmer ID code. If we don't have one from the past, I can just contact you directly. Okay.
Yes, and I will get you a new list of numbers.
Okay, great. And is there some way that at some point we could get like, in order to participate in the program, could we get just like an itemized list of the process of the applications that we have to do and in which order, if there is an order?
Yeah, I can go ahead and get that out. I can actually put something together and get that out to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys are doing a great presentation.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pam. And just so you all know, we were pretty much at the market every weekend on Saturdays and Tuesdays, having Pam, just what you asked for, just a packet ready to go, walking through that in the order of what was needed. If they were a brand new farmer that wanted to participate. So I can't stress enough that we will be there night and day to make sure everyone is comfortable moving forward and we can answer all of your questions ahead of time.
Terrific.
And yes, I've seen where everybody, sorry, Sarah, I've seen where everybody's talking about a, you know, instructions, a checklist. I'm brand new to the program. I not that new. I started last year in June, right, Sarah? And so I'm still getting a lot of things put together, and all of this is just great information for me to say, okay, this is what I need. This is what I need. So thank you guys for that. So I will be getting you guys a checklist. It won't take me that long.
Our goal is to streamline and simplify these processes, try to get away from paper as much as possible. Unfortunately, being a federal program, they're not the fastest, but we keep pushing. So we're even hoping for our 2024 season, we can do a lot of things online if you prefer that. So just, we're trying. So we know paper is really outdated and we would rather save trees. Real quick, I have a question here from Carol. Multiple forms, since you have the form up still, would be confusing. The farmer grower is supposed to have one identification number for all markets. That is correct, and that isn't changing. But Veronica needed to have what other markets that you sell at for our records as well. She might want, Veronica, do you want to elaborate more on that?
So are they talking about the section for the additional markets?
I believe so.
So, I mean, as far as the way it's been in the past, the farmers have been putting additional markets that they're selling at here, and they're just listing so that way their main market knows where else they're selling at. Do you have, like, can you explain a little bit more as far as what you're stating about that?
If Carol would like to come off mute, I just want to make sure we're answering all of your questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just typed it in the chat. I disagree with the markets that made their farmers sign up again, because that's not helping anybody, except maybe it makes their own paperwork easier, and I get that, but we have to do something like tattoo the growers or something, I don't know, but you know, I just feel like that can make things more confusing. So I'm glad that you have that. I think the form has really improved with being able to do some of the fillable pieces, and I really appreciate all that you guys do. I know it's challenging. So I'm just sorry that markets can make things confusing. We try not to.
So basically what you're saying is if they're signed up at your market as a primary and they have others listed, and if they go to another market, they have them complete the form again. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I heard mentioned earlier.
Yes, and that has been happening. I mean, it's just a learning process, a training process. So this is kind of why, you know, we're going through it now.
Yeah, because one of the vendors that traditionally signs up with my market, we started late and he went ahead and signed up the paperwork with a different market. And that was fine. I knew, you know, we knew what was going on. And so I think communication is key, and we're a small market, so it's easier for me. I think it's trickier for the bigger markets with different volunteers and such to keep track, but we appreciate you. We really do.
And always, if you guys have any questions, you guys can, I mean, please contact me. On my work phone automatically transfers over to my cell phone. And I know George knows I answer even on weekends. So I've talked to a lot of farmers that have called me, and I do answer on weekends as well. Farmers and market managers.
We have another question from David. David was raising his hand. Or Shiprock Farmers Market.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just wanted to know with the imagery for WIC and so forth, you know, we do a lot of social media posts. Is there imagery logos that we could use for our social media imagery and social media outreach that are available to us?
Yes, we will make sure, if I understand you correctly, we can, again, part of our, maybe the packet, we can tell you where to, because I don't want to boggle down anyone's email, but we can tell you where to download those images. We're also going to be uploading all of this on our WIC website, on our DOH to help promote the new changes. So yes, we will definitely share that. And if you have anything to share with us, we can also put that on our farmers market website as well. I think that's what you're asking, David.
Yes, correct. I am. Thank you so much for that answer.
Of course.
Okay, next we have Shiprock Farmers Market.
Hi, my question is, so this is one of our most popular programs, the WIC and the senior vouchers, but I was just wondering if you had like maybe some numbers for where it's redeemed at some of these markets? Like, is it like how much is it used at our market compared to other markets? Are those numbers available, or where would we find them? Because just to see how many seniors are accessing like at our market and stuff like that.
Yeah, David, I'm just going to jump in real quick here. Thanks. I'll find it in the chat. Earlier in the chat, I dropped in the NMFMA compiles all of the sales data. The WIC, Veronica provides us with all of the sales data by market. We lump together all the farm stands and CSAs, and I put the link up earlier. I'll put the link in there again. You also probably received it in the email that you received from us last night. So it's our market data page, and that compiles all of the data. So I'll put that in the chat in a minute.
There's another question. If a vendor in your WIC list didn't have an email, how was the vendor contacted?
So if they did not have an email, this is the reason why I also contacted the market managers. I did send out the email to managers and vendors. So I do know that in the email it did state, please share with your vendors, because I know, like I mentioned, a lot of the emails were coming back and getting kicked back to me, or some of the vendors, my emails were going into the junk mail. So I do ask that all vendors still share this information with the farmers. Or all market managers, sorry, share this with the vendors.
We have a question from Peggy. She has her hand up.
Okay. My question, and I apologize if it's already been asked, I just either missed it or spaced out something. When does the application for 2020 through 2022 expire? Because we start our market in July. Is this New Mexico fiscal year, or is this the federal fiscal year that they're going by? Is July the 1st of 2023?
So it's going to end at the end of our season, which should be at the end of November. So which is the last day that sales can be utilized. So yeah, so if we can get the new one that I will be putting on the website, I can also email it to all the market managers to get you guys up and going, and at least have the forms. Submit them to me as early as you can, or be at least before the season starts next year, which would be July. So remember, our season starts every July 1st and always ends on November 29th. Unless we change that date. It used to be November 15th. Now, Sarah actually pushed it to November 29th.
Okay, I was just hearing July, and I was trying to make sure I didn't have my years mixed up here. So we'll do 2022, and since I do have it before the market, that's great, because we've always gotten it after our market closed. So I had to go individually to the farmers and find them to get it going, because all of them didn't have email. So we'll get that done at our market this year, and I appreciate everything you've done. This is going to be an interesting year.
It is, and like Sarah said, we're going to have a lot of people out at the markets, so we can walk everybody through things.
Okay, now who's going to be at the markets? Is it going to be health department or?
So it's going to be, sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
No, sorry. It's going to be a combination. So it's going to be local WIC staff within your area. Hopefully, you know some of them, some familiar faces. And then I know Kendall Chavez is going to be presenting on legislative updates this afternoon, but just kind of as a little tidbit, we received 3 special fundings from the legislators. So we have 50,000 recurring, a 50,000 non-recurring, and 108 recurring for the senior markets, which is ideal. So that's more money to feed our seniors and to help with this technology. Part of that funding for this coming year, we're going to be hiring temp workers, because there's only so many WIC staff, and unfortunately we have a lot of vacancies. But it's ideal to put that money into the temp workers to train them appropriately, to make sure they're there to support you. So that's kind of our end goal, to have, again, more hands assisting you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have another hand raised up. Chris. from Bonvita.
Thank you. I have two questions actually. First off, are people allowed to apply their WIC proceeds to like a CSA or membership share type of thing for fruit and produce? And how do you allocate that in the app, since it's always different or changing and you can't say it's fruit or vegetable or whatnot? And then we're working on we in the middle of adding our own processing for WIC and SNAP and EBT. And our solution is already WIC and eWIC capable. Do we have to use the app you guys are talking about, or are we able to use that platform that we're already using?
I'll start. Chris, I would need to know more about the platform that you're using, but I'm gonna, with 90% confidence, you need to use ours because that's going to have all of the farmers' banking information. That's how they're going to get paid. That's how we are able to pull from the appropriate grant for what participant is spending what.
Well, we're using Market Link through, which we're using Market Link through SNAP and with that grant.
Thank you, that helps. So no, the answer is no. That is a completely different software and capability from what the vendor has built out for us.
Okay.
So maybe down the road, like Veronica and I said, this application is free right now. I mean, it's going to continue to be free. And again, it's going to be enhancing to accept our CSFP, SNAP, and so forth, hopefully in 2024. So we'll just kind of keep monitoring that together.
Okay. What about the CSA thing?
No, unfortunately, right now, that for this coming year, we will not be able to accept that, but we can look at that for our 2024 year. Absolutely.
The CSA, Sarah, that does have to be approved through FNS, correct? This is why we're not doing it this season. Okay.
Okay, we have another hand. David Sumberg.
Hey, Veronica and Sarah, thank you so much. This really clarifies a huge amount. I have a few questions. One is for follow-up from Peggy's. If we were to look towards getting our vendors re-upped this year, just kind of as a matter of convenience and making sure we're ahead of the curve, there were two forms that you had presented. One was for new vendors and the other one, I wasn't exactly sure who that was for. Could you clarify those? And then also I noticed on the one that you shared screen on most recently, it was for the 2020 through 2022 season. And so do you have the applications ready for any new vendors to apply for like extension for the subsequent 3 years already? Like if they apply this year, would they be able to be able to qualify through 2025 then, I guess?
So the one I had up was, like you said, it was the 2020 through 2022. That will carry them to the end of the season. I will be issuing out the new applications for 23 to 25. I can send it to all market managers, and it will also be on our website. But like we mentioned, our website is not updated just yet because it is down. So it will be available. All documents will be available on our website. I'm not sure when I'll be able to post it. Sarah, do you know yet when? Okay.
We're hoping in the next few days.
Okay. Yeah. And then there was a shorter application that was just in the slide presentation earlier. Could you talk about the distinguishment between those?
So that one there is for pretty much new farmers and existing farmers who want to be a part of the electronic solution. So the reason why I put up that one is because I am wanting them to let me know if they want direct deposit or check. At this point, then I will send them the information for the direct deposit. And if it is by check, I just got to make sure I have a current mailing address for them. Otherwise, we will have to deliver the checks to the markets. And then what they will do is they will have to issue them out to the farmers. So we want to make sure that the document that I did present on, that is going to be completed no matter what, whether they're a new farmer or whether they're an older farmer that's already approved. So pretty much it's just going to be for everybody. Just to sum it up, everybody will have to complete it that wants to participate in the electronic solution, which basically means they have to have that mobile phone or a tablet.
Right. And compliments to you, by the way, just we had a lot of concern that you were going to be asking social security numbers, bank numbers, things like that. And there was a lot of nervousness about privacy issues. So thanks for that. And then
yeah, the only other thing is the direct deposit form, and a lot of the Santa Fe, the ones that were on our proof of concept, they already filled out that direct deposit form. So a lot of them completed it. We had, I think, I'm not sure how many signed up for direct deposit, but we did issue out several checks as well. So it's just really their information. They can either send the direct deposit form to us or directly to the vendor, whatever they feel.
Thank you. And then the other question is, do you have training materials? You had talked about that if a vendor doesn't have a smartphone or tablet or a way to download the app, that the market can assist them in that. Do you have training materials in terms of how to flip between vendors?
We will be getting, we will be getting that information to you guys before we actually start our season. So like we said, we're going to go out and we're going to teach everybody how to do this. We will be sending you training material. So that way everybody has it. It's just right now we're in the middle of everything and trying to get people signed up. We will get you that information, and we'll have it available to you guys before our July 1st starts. Sarah, anything else? Sorry.
I see a hand up, Pauline.
Hi, do farmers still need to remember their 4-digit farmer code, or is that more of just an ID between markets and you guys?
So they do need to remember it to put it on the forms, of course, because that is going to be tied into the system. So the 4-digit ID code will be tied to the market they're in within the system. So let's say they are at Santa Fe Farmers Market. They're going to click on the market that they're working at. So it's Santa Fe. And then if they go to Albuquerque, then they're going to click on the Albuquerque number that they're working there. But for us within the system, the number is just going to go in one time. They're not going to have to remember it on our end. Only if they are doing checks. For the ones that I said, for the FSIP, they will have to put that 4-digit number on those checks.
And real quick, I just saw a question come through. It's a good one. Well, they're all great questions, but what if a farmer doesn't have a smartphone? And so as Veronica said, I think if they have a phone back from 2010, they might think it's outdated, but it still has that capability to do these transactions. But if they have no phone at all, one thing we did see at the Santa Fe's market, we had children, grandchildren that also had a phone, so they kind of stepped in. But if they don't have that option, that's one thing we're doing, is looking at trying to find grants to provide phones for these farmers. So again, we're really trying to make sure everybody can participate in this moving forward. And again, if you have any other ideas, please share. And that goes along with the hotspots too. Veronica, I'll let you take this one because I cannot recall.
Can you have a vendor at 2 markets on the same day and still use the app? Yes. So each, so let's say you're selling in Santa Fe and one of you wants to go to Espanola. So each of you would have to have an app on a tablet or a mobile phone. So pretty much the main farmer will have the main profile, and then from there they can add multiple people to that profile. And then what will happen is it will send an email to that additional person to be able to upload the app. And then what it does is it just allows multiple staff to utilize this. And what happens is all the funding goes to the main farmer because they are the main person. Did that answer your question there, Joe and Rhonda? I think, or was that Tamara? Hold on, the comments are moving on me. Karen.
I have another question. If a farmer has no phone or no signal, the market manager can use her phone?
Yes, as long as they have the app and the farmer signs in, yes.
Let's see. Thank you everyone for the awesome questions. There any more questions or?
Any we missed?
Peggy has her hand up.
Yes, just to clarify this, maybe I'm making too much of it. If the market needs to intervene and do something for one of the vendors or the farmers because they don't have their phones or whatever, and we're doing it, and the individual purchaser that has the WIC benefits, if two farmers, if the person is purchasing from two different farmers, how does the market person do it? Do they have to go to each of the farmers to get the information from them and apply the credits to each of the farmers? Does it go to the market and we have to pay the farmers for the difference or the split it? Is that a stupid question? Probably
No,
so.
absolutely not. These are the things we're all working through together. So ideally that, and I think a similar question came through the chat, is if a farmer forgot their phone, they would go to the market manager. And so they would enter their PIN number as they would on your tablet or phone. And so they would have that direct deposit into their account. One less thing for you to worry about and keep account of. But unfortunately, and maybe that's something when we're looking through these grants, we can provide some extra phones or tablets for, say, you can assign a phone that day to if a farmer forgot their phone or their battery died, because the last thing we want is to have the market manager running around trying to help input that, because I think that would happen at first. I don't see any other way around it if a client wanted to have multiple purchases at the vendor. That would kind of fall on you, which we want to avoid that responsibility.
Okay, thanks.
So we have another question.
I just want to say we want to, just real quick, Melanie, I know this is daunting. Change is scary, but we're in this together. And this is a huge learning curve for all of us. And then hopefully we can regroup after the season, what worked, what didn't, before we go back to the vendor and start doing those tweaks. So I just want to thank you all for your patience, because it's going to be very exciting, but again, it's daunting, and just thank you. We will get through this together. I can't stress this enough.
We have Sylvia, you have your hand up.
Thank you all very much. And I really would like to become more computer savvy. I do want to suggest also that there needs to be a plan B in case the entire internet should collapse. There really needs to be a plan B that will not stop us from being able to grow and sell food, or to barter, or do whatever it is we need to do to really serve food security. So I just wanted to mention that, because, plan Bs are great to have, and so are plan As. But I think a plan B, I would like to see that also just there as a safety net. That's it.
We could totally agree with that, and we're hoping to have those hotspots in place, especially more in our rural areas where connectivity is a challenge. So yeah, we completely hear you on that, and we will do everything to make sure that doesn't happen, but we'll get that plan in place.
So another question, how do you envision WIC training, say, at a small market?
Are you talking about the system training? Is that what you're asking?
I'm talking about how you're going to train vendors on using the app when you all come, if you're going to come, or we're going to go somewhere, or how is that going to work?
We're going to the markets. We will be doing hands-on training whatever farmer signs up to do this electronic process. So this is the other reason for that document I shared earlier that shows the direct deposit and the check process. That is what's going to help me to know what farmers do I go to at each market. That's going to be my clue to tell me, okay, I need to go to South Valley Market and train these 5 or these 10 farmers. Then at this point, yes, Rhonda, I saw your question. I'm going to show the market manager also how the whole process works, because we want you to be as knowledgeable as we are in case you have a question or need to train other vendors and we can't make it out later on in the season. We want you to know as much as we do, so that way you are very, very tech savvy on it.
That's why I was asking Veronica if there was a training you were going to have, say, before our market starts that we could go to, so we had a heads up.
Yeah, we'll be going out to you guys before our July 1st season starts. So anytime between, I'm hoping between May and June, we will get out there. So we're going to be really busy going out throughout New Mexico to do this training.
So maybe this is a good time to bring in this question that I never thought about. When we are doing the EBT and to double up, there is a sort of a dummy number that we put in. Will you have something like that when you train, that it's a fake thing, so that when you don't have to have an actual sale when you train?
We can. That is how we did our trainings at the Santa Fe Farmers Market. We actually had just dummy accounts, but I will tell you, the live transactions actually help them a lot better to really understand the process. A live actual purchase worked way better, but it's the same thing. But I'm going to say a live transaction helped quicker and faster in training.
Well, I was just wondering if the thing doesn't start till July and you come in June, how are you going to do a live one?
It'll be a dummy one. Those will be dummies.
Okay. Thank you.
We have hands up, Jackie.
This may be a no-brainer, but I know with EBT SNAP, if the whole internet, I'm talking about the Plan B, but if the whole internet goes down, and that's a regular thing where I'm at, is you can do an EBT SNAP transaction on paper and enter it at a later time. And I'm just saying that would, I would be thinking about that right now for the WIC, because that's what saves people. That's how you can continue doing a EBT transaction when the internet's down. And if we had something similar for WIC, it would be great.
Jackie,
That makes sense?
It does. Jackie, can you tell us what area you're in?
We're in Rama, we're south of Gallup, and we're a dead zone. I mean, we're dead zone everywhere. We're we're located between the Navajo Rama chapter and Zuni, and we never get WIC. And I've wanted to go into Rama, Zuni, and most of our WIC customers are from Zuni, and I have asked earlier, I think it's a separate WIC program than what you're doing. I don't know if you're in any way connected with Zuni WIC. We only get seniors. I misspoke. We do get non-native WIC occasionally, okay? And then we get seniors from Zuni, and we never get Navajo senior. I mean, it's a big mystery to me that, like, who gets WIC?
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. So, but I really believe in the program. I'm thinking ahead. And if we actually, but then we have this whole other separate problem that has to do with the internet. And I'm going to check Friday because I've learned so much more information. There's a chance that we have a fairly steady Verizon signal. And so everything would come down to somebody at the market having a Verizon phone, because we have lots of farmers with smartphones, but if they don't have a Verizon signal, they're dead. And it's like, so I'm just sorting all this out. But I'm just saying, I know minimally I can do EBT because of the being able to take, paperwork home and enter it from home. And so it would be great to be able to do that for WIC.
Yeah, we're definitely, that's on our radar. And just to go back to all of the, we call them our Indian Tribal Organization WIC programs. All of them are separate. They are not attached with our state WIC, but we do work very closely with them. And so we can send out a list of what Native WIC programs offer the farmers market for WIC, because actually a lot of them do not. So just to help clarify, we're happy to send that out. And then I know a lot of the Native American farmers WIC programs are trying to apply for the farmers market. So that would be great. I don't know if Zuni actually has a farmers market WIC in place. I can't recall, but we will get that list too.
It does seem like they have a seniors program, but not a WIC program, but I don't really know.
Definitely seniors. But yeah, again, I think it's the WIC they're lacking.
See, we have a question in the chat. Is this all for farmers markets only? Is there a different process for single outlets with their own FNS number permit?
I think someone's going to have to elaborate what they're referring to through an FNS permit, because moving forward, they need to be, like they have been in the past with checks, they have to go through our process with our applications in order to proceed. There might be another FNS program, again, that we're just not aware of, that would not qualify them for this.
So that's, so, you know, because we're a farm stand as well. We sell at farmers markets, but we're a farm stand as well with our own FNS SNAP EBT permit for getting benefits. So is WIC not something, people cannot use their WIC checks at our farm stand, only at farmers markets, and we're unable to accept those? Or is there a process to do that?
Hey, Sarah, I can jump in a little bit on that. So the FNS permits that you guys have for your SNAP EBT are different permits than what Sarah needs. So just because you can have SNAP doesn't mean that you can do the online WIC.
Yeah, because on the at the FNS side, it says, you know, your SNAP permit, whatever, but then the states manage all of the WIC programs. So
yeah, so they're completely separate. Even though WIC is working with FNS and SNAP is working with FNS, they're different programs within the same.
I'm aware of that. I'm just, that's my question though, is the federal government says that the states administer it. So that's what I'm asking is there a way for farm stands to apply in New Mexico to accept WIC?
Okay, I was answering somebody else's question about the SNAP permits. So Sarah can go ahead with that one.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. So trying to go back, yes, as Sarah was saying, 2 different divisions, different grant funding. So this application will still continue to our roadside stands, our mobile markets, everything that you're currently doing will transfer over. None of that should change.
Okay, so as a farm stand, we can apply, but it's the same form and everything that a farmer's market would use.
Yes, absolutely. And all of that will be on our checklist on the website, just like you did with the checks.
Okay.
Another question that I did get asked not too long ago was a farmer's market that was trying to open up as brand new. They were told that they had to get our approval to open up as a farmer's market. That is not true. So if you are a new farmer or a new market or new roadside stand, you don't need our approval to even open up. That's totally separate. You have to get your licenses to the state. You get your approval to have that open. Now, if you want to accept double up food bucks, you'll deal with the NMFMA to deal with that. To accept the WIC and senior benefits, like Sarah said, they're totally different grants. You will contact us to be able to accept those at your market, and the farmers will have to fill out their application as well. So just to give you guys a little bit of a insight of some questions that were brought to me probably last month.
Yeah, that kind of answers the there was a question, WIC users can exchange their credits for double up.
So remember that WIC and Senior Farmers Market is totally separate from the other programs. This is something totally different. So no, they cannot. Our WIC and seniors cannot get double up. You cannot get tokens for that money. That's why everything for our program is going to be on an app, and the money stays within that account.
Now, speaking for 2024, that's when we want to explore all of these other grants to help streamline for the farmer and our participant to make it simple, have like just that main bank account where if they wanted to do CSFP, double up, WIC, or senior, it's all housed in one application. But again, since we are just starting, we needed to keep it simple to perfect this process, and then we can add on. So that's our end goal. So just again, be patient.
Okay, we have Colleen with her hand up.
Am I unmuted?
We can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, good. I have a question about the phones. It would be absolutely wonderful for you to get a grant to supply our farmers with smartphones because a lot of them don't have any phone. Will they have to subscribe to like Verizon? I have a smartphone and I'm on a Verizon plan, but it costs me a lot per month, and a farmer to be forced into having a plan for the season is going to cost them $1 or more just to use the phone. And for getting $50, maybe getting $50 worth of money from the program is not going to make it possible for them to maintain a Verizon plan for even 4 months. Our market runs for 5 months. That would be $250 that they would have to hand out to maintain a phone, even if the phone was free. And then
Sarah, so I'll mention one thing quickly, and then I'll let Sarah talk. From what I have learned is that even if a cell phone, if somebody has a cell phone they're not using, there is no phone data to make phone calls or text messages, and this person, and it has Wi-Fi capability, which most phones have now, and there is a hotspot or internet at the market, they can still use that phone and still download that app because it's based off of Wi-Fi now, not phone data. So I can get any phone that I'm not using to make calls or text messages on. And I'll tell you, because I have this for my niece, she has an iPhone where she can't call, she can't text, but she can get on the internet if she has internet access, like at my house, my aunt's, my mom's house. She can get on by clicking on the little Wi-Fi link and it opens up the internet. She can browse, she can do whatever she wants on the internet. So if anybody has old phones that they can share, by all means, that's what we can do by helping out some of these farmers. And then now I know Sarah is going to talk about the grant. So that's just a little information I wanted to share with everybody, because not everybody knows that cell phones can do that. So instead of just throwing away the cell phone or keeping them in drawers, we can possibly do it that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can wipe them clean. And no, but Colleen, I totally understand that. That doesn't make sense
we don't have Wi-Fi at our market.
And
at all.
Right. So again, we're going back to providing hotspots, and maybe something we can do like a phone checkout for the season. We can always check in with the farmers to see if they have a phone or not. So then we can issue one for the season, and hopefully through the grant, like Veronica said, it's kind of like already a prepaid, if you will, just to be able to do that transaction. So these are all the things we're exploring. So no, very good point. We hear you.
Okay. And what was
so the other thing that we wanted to ask, and I don't know if Melanie and people have answered yet, but can all of our markets tell us who has a Wi-Fi access, who have a hotspot? So hotspot basically is a little box that gives off Wi-Fi. is pretty much what it does. So like a cell phone has a hotspot, and you can use that on the road to log into your laptop. There's some of the other places have a hotspot where it's, like I said, it's like a little box and everybody can tie into that hotspot. There are only like certain amount of cell phones or tablets that can sign into a certain hotspot. But if we can get our markets to tell us who has Wi-Fi capability, so just, Wi-Fi hotspot basically are the same. It's just, how is it issued out? How is it given out?
Sierra County Farmers Market has one other question for you. I don't know that any of our farmers have actually seen the new application. Can you give me the date that email went out so that I can get them to look in their trash that particular month? Or are we going to send that out again?
I'll send it out again, but it was sent out in December, and I believe it was sometime after December 15th.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome. I didn't hear you, Colleen.
Who did it come from? What was the email address it was sent from?
Veronica.griego3@state.nm.us. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat so you can write it down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
George, did you have a question?
I do. In the past, I've seen several people come in with the plastic card that has WIC, big bold letters. Are those cards going to be acceptable or could be used at the farmers market under this program?
Great question. And what you're referring to of how it could apply to you all is our CVB cash value benefit, where the WIC families can purchase an additional, produce, depending on the category, if a woman and child, they can purchase produce at the grocery store. Again, in 2024, we want to make sure that if they choose to purchase this additional produce at your market, that would be ideal for them to have that opportunity. Right now for this season, that will not be available, but something we are planning for our 2024. And you'll see when we go into these trainings, why we designed the app the way we did with the purchase of CVB in mind for our tracking.
Thank you. That answers the question.
See, we have another question. Shiprock Farmers, Orion.
Hi, my question is, another numbers question is, do you have a number for how much, so you issue out so many per county, do you have numbers for how much don't get redeemed in a given season? That way we can just, our market can like maybe do some more outreach or maybe be more clear that we do accept these programs for those that don't get redeemed. Yeah, and maybe they just, the seniors or WIC participants, they just don't understand that they could potentially redeem it at our market.
Yeah, absolutely. We have those numbers. And again, this is where we can really partner to make sure we do these reminders to our seniors and WIC families to make sure they can get those redeemed. Absolutely. So we have about 4 minutes left. I just want to be courteous of the time. Again, this is just one of many discussions moving forward. Pam, I'll get to you right before we wrap up. Please reach out to any of us for any follow-up. We promised our action items are some training packets, checklists for you to start reviewing ahead of time. We're going to be looking into phone and hotspot grants. Your action item is to please send us if your market has connectivity or has issues with connectivity. I think I know the answer to that. Even in Santa Fe right here, we have issues, our poor state. And then also how many farmers do not have phones, because then that will help us what to apply for our grant applications. Okay, Pam, let's go to you. And then we can, and you're on mute, Pam.
On the phone, I think you already answered this, but on the phone, you are only going to use Wi-Fi. You are not going to use your own data. You cannot use your own data. Is that correct?
No, you can use both. You can either use
great.
Wi-Fi or you can use your data,
great.
whichever you choose.
Great. Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, we go out on occasion. So if we can use the phone, I think that'll solve it. We also have a Netgear box. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but that might be something that people could bring to their markets. It's mobile, so it could be used as a hotspot for markets. And that's all I got.
Thank you. I'm unaware of that, so it's something I'm going to definitely look into. We appreciate all of these suggestions. Yeah, especially if anyone, I think most plans these days have like unlimited data. So yes, that would be ideal. And that wouldn't impact your monthly bill. Okay, I will just thank you everyone so much for your time. We're really excited. And I will pass to Veronica for any closing remarks.
So I'm just putting, and I know Melanie already did it. She put our DOH email. So like Sarah mentioned, please let us know. I know you're putting it in here who has Wi-Fi capability at your market. If you have it or you don't have it, please send me an email. Tell me how many farmers do not have phones. We kind of want to look at this data to see what we need to do and how we can go further to help you at a market and help your farmers. So other than that, that's all I have. And that's it. I thank you guys for all the questions. It really helped us. And I hope you guys are excited as we are. And we cannot wait to get this market going or this season going.
All right. I'd like to give a special thanks to Veronica, Sarah, and Melanie for this morning's WIC training. Thank you so much for all of the knowledge that you shared with us. And thank you to the participants for coming and asking questions and making this a very engaging and interactive experience. It's exactly what we were hoping for. So I really appreciate that. So don't forget to come back this afternoon from 12 to 1. We're going to have legendary activist and spiritual leader Chili Yaza presenting on indigenous farming. And then we'll have a legislative update from Kendall Chavez from the Office of the Governor. And then from 1 to 3, we're going to have our Urban and Rural Farmers Market Open Forum. So that'll be a nice way to kind of talk about what's going on in your communities. And just another reminder, if you're an NFMA member in good standing, don't forget to vote for board positions. So thank you all for joining this morning, and we look forward to seeing you at 12. Have a nice little break.
Thank you.